Okay, this is N4NT with the Bristol Amateur Radio Club monthly meeting. We've got just under a minute before we officially call to order. Just a few quick reminders. Again, we are broadcasting live on YouTube. You can type in Bristol Amateur Radio Club or look up Ham Radio's own YouTube channel. We also are using a program called NetLogger to keep up with who all is out there, and that is available for free download at netlogger.org. Quick reminder as far as the radio goes, the repeater and all that. Whenever you transmit, please, after you key up, wait just a couple seconds before you start speaking. A couple different reasons. This allows the repeater to fully kick in, and we are also linked to the Bristol Amateur Radio Club Wires X room, 61243, and that gives it just a moment to kick in as well. Also, anyone who is speaking tonight on any point of business or anything like that, just a reminder, the timeout timer for the repeater is 3 minutes. So keep that in mind. You know, if your transmission, and some of mine probably will tonight, are going over 3 minutes, at some point you'll need to unkey and let it reset and key back up. And also, anyone that is out there that's not checked in with us, just stand by, and if there's any point of business that you want to make a motion on or speak on, just let us know at that point. We can get you on the list, and we'll also stop periodically throughout the meeting to allow people to join the list. Anyone that's not a member of the Bristol Amateur Radio Club that's in attendance tonight, you're more than welcome to check in with us. We'll put you on the list, and I'll flag you somehow as a guest on there, but no problem. Anything that you might want to speak on, we'll certainly welcome that. So let me reset. Okay, and then our secretary David he's on the list, but he's joining us through the chat window on the NetLogger. So I've got him N4DTB, and I see N4KZS Gary has popped in there on the NetLogger, so we'll check in with him in just a moment. This is N4NT, president of the Bristol Amateur Radio Club. I'll now call this meeting of the Bristol Amateur Radio Club to order, and I will ask our chaplain, Emmett, WE4AWJ, if you could lead us in a word of prayer, please.
Let's be in an attitude of prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings upon our club, our meeting, and upon this meeting tonight, our club activities, those who are not able to be with us, family and friends, and those, Lord, who are ill. Bless what we do, bless the decisions we make, guide our minds and heart to lift our club as a good example of fun and fellowship and work, and Lord, most of all, sharing. Bless now, Lord, these works and these activities and our time together as we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Okay, Emmett, thank you very much. Let me check and see. N4KZS, Gary, are you there?
N4KZS.
Okay, do you mind to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Alrighty. Everyone can join with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Gary. And hang on to the mic for a second. David is our secretary's in Rutherfordton, North Carolina. It's easy for me to say. So I don't have currently have the minutes for the last meeting, so we will go ahead and table that. So we'll go ahead and send it back over to Gary for the Treasurer's Report.
Okay. Anyway, Adam, good to hear you. I assume you're back in town. I hope you had a good time with your family at the beach. Treasury Report, not a lot of activity. We had one $15 dues that was collected and deposited. The bad news on the CD interest rates, the bottom fell out of it. So we're not getting anywhere near what we were getting before. In fact, the CD interest at the end of April was $3.52. So not a lot. Anyway, I'll give you the balances as they stand now, except the true balance on the CD won't be available until I receive the statement for May in the mail, which will probably be this weekend. Anyway, the check balance is $2,937.36, and the CD balance is $7,623.68, and a running balance in savings is $12.14. Okay, back to you, Adam.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Does anyone have any questions, additions, corrections to the Treasurer's Report? Okay, hearing none, I'll need a motion and a second to approve as presented.
I motion to accept it. K4HQ.
Second, KN4JHW.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. K4HQ and KN4JHW, motion and second. All right. Do we have any old business? Any old business we need to bring before the club tonight?
KT40.
Okay, KT40. Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, Adam, thanks. I just wanted to kind of bring everybody up to speed on the VE testing. Obviously, we don't have a place to meet, and it's really not been prudent to do so. So right now, all of our test sessions are, there's none scheduled. I have taken all of them off for the year. With that being said, I'll get with the VE team once we kind of figure out meeting times and all that, and we'll evaluate what kind of team we have that'd like to participate with everything going on and that kind of thing. But I obviously right now we're looking at probably earliest is doing it is in August, and we'll probably have to go with back with the ARRL. W4VEC's got some restrictions and requirements that I feel are just a little bit tough to deal with just a small organization like we are. But anyway, that's kind of where we stand. I will keep everybody updated, once we can get something going again through the newsletter and through the Facebook page, Adam. But just wanted to bring everybody up to speed on that right now. It's KT40.
Okay, Ben. Thank you for that update. Does anyone have any questions or anything for Ben concerning the VE testing? Okay, I'll just bring up that as far as the club had voted to purchase the membership cards and everything, and sort of the COVID stuff sort of put that on the back burner, but I believe the print shop's back running like most things, and since it's on the Tennessee side, so I'm going to try to get that taken care of. I've not been in a big rush because I know even if we're able to start meeting again, we all probably won't see each other again until August, so it may even be practical just to start out with issuing cards next year since we're so far in at this point. But I'll get that taken care of, or not ordered yet per se, because I need to send the designs around to everybody to let them look at them. So that'll give us some time to kind of go over those. Is where I'm at on that. And then I could bring this up under old or new. I'll go ahead and just bring it up now. Just wanted to throw out there, I did get an email from the hospital concerning this month's meeting, and they canceled the meeting rooms. They're basically doing that on a month-to-month basis. When I set everything up, they think we meet in July, because it's easier just to say, hey, give me one a month for the year than it is to try to explain July and December to them. But just looking ahead, I imagine the hospital is going to stay on some restrictions longer than anything else, just because of the nature of their business. Just want to throw it out there if anybody wants to look at any possibilities of an alternate meeting place, whether it's should we be able to start meeting again in August together, whether it's just a meeting place, or whether it's a place where we can meet and eat or something like that. Just maybe look at a few different possibilities, and we can throw it around to everybody and see what the consensus is. If you don't mind to do that, and just any information, just send to the club email, and we can distribute it and see where everybody wants to go. It might be possible that the hospital pops up by August and says, yeah, you can start meeting here again, but I'd like to have a Plan B in place. I've had several people mention to me that they are missing having the regular meetings and like to gather. And let me reset. Like to be able to gather and see everybody again. And there's a couple places that I have in mind that if we could get the use of, and I don't know for sure, but I'm going to talk to some people that I know, but if we could get the use of them, the size of our group and everything, we could still maintain some distancing or whatever if folks choose to do that. So we'll see what we can work out there, but like I said, if anybody has any ideas, please send them our way, and we'll look into them and see what the group wants to do. Does anybody else have any old business? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Does anyone have any new business?
Adam, this is KT40. I didn't know if you wanted me to cover field day in new business or wait to the end.
That'll be fine. I wasn't gonna cut it off by any means without getting to you on that. But let me see if there's anybody. I meant to do that before old business. But and again, a quick reminder: if you're out there and you're not on the list and you're a club member, you're certainly welcome to speak up at any time. But is there anybody else out there that wants to get on the meeting roster for tonight? Please call.
W4JH, Jack here.
Okay, Jack, W4JH got you on there. Is there any others? Okay, hearing none. I'll put out another call for new business, Ben, and then we'll, if there isn't any, we'll turn it over to you for a field day report. Is there any new business? Okay, hearing none. Let's go to our field day chairman, KT40, for a report on this year's field day. Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, let me take a quick standby. I thought I heard somebody key up underneath you. Why don't you see if somebody was trying to check in before I start? KT40.
Okay, sure thing. Thanks for letting me know about that. Is there anybody else that wants to get on the roster and check in tonight?
Already there. This is Bob, W4BCU. I just wanted to re-announce that
thanks for letting us know about that. And just when you pin down a date there, just give us a holler, and we'll put it out through the club email and stuff if you want us to. And definitely looking forward to that. All right. Is there anybody else to check in, or any other new business?
Check in KE4DNU, Robert, Hilton's, Virginia.
KC4HUH, Mike here in Bristol. No traffic.
All right, picked up a couple more there. KE4DNU, Robert and Hilton's, and KC4HUH, Mike. I got one on YouTube here, KI4AAS, saying that YouTube is down. I don't know if he's still copying us or not, but we definitely will upload the backup recording if that happens, and we can also take people over the instant messenger on NetLogger. All right, is there any other stations out there? Okay, and of course, let me double check. That was also a call for any new business as well. Okay, well, we'll turn it over. Ben, you've got an audience of 20 that are admitting they're here, and maybe a few more, so go ahead.
Okay, real good, Adam. Thank you so much. This is KT40, Ben, and I guess I've been kind of field day co-chair for a long, long time, but 2020 has certainly been an interesting year, and obviously with COVID-19, the city's been non-committal on parks, and just with things going on, it's not prudent right now that we get together, because field day is not really an event that allows for social distancing, especially when you're working with folks one-on-one with the radios, or we're doing food and that kind of thing. So with all of that, the American Radio Relay League, the ARRL, has taken that all into account, and they've actually got some great opportunities for special field day rules that will only be available for the year 2020. So with the ARRL understanding that a lot of clubs want to keep people safe, which that's something that we want to do and help protect the health of our club members, they're actually allowing folks that obviously you've always been able to operate field day from home and off your commercial power, which is typically a 1 Delta classification. If you operate 2 stations, it'd be 2 Delta. But that Delta actually designates you as a home station running commercial power. In a typical field day year, Class D stations, if I'm signing 1D and I contact Adam and he's operating 1D, we cannot count that QSO. That's typically how things are year after year. However, this year, to help encourage operation field day participation, the ARRL is actually making an exception, and they're actually going to allow Class D stations to work other Class D stations, and those points will actually count. So it's a really fun, unique opportunity in this sea of adversity we're all kind of navigating through. But it's going to allow you to operate from the safety of your home if you'd like. If you'd like to go out mobile, you can do that as well. But the other neat thing is, from the club participation standpoint, obviously encourage you to keep a log, but you'll actually include the club name in that log with the stations you work and all of that on your entry. And this is the only time also that the ARRL is going to allow an aggregate club score to be published. So if Adam works field day, if Gary works field day, Tom, myself, and I'm hoping we have many of you that will get on and operate field day. Gosh, let's flood them with logs. Let's maybe send in 50 logs. That would be awesome. But all of those, whatever points are counted in each of those, say, 50 logs that we have submitted, all of those points will all be calculated up together for the Bristol Radio Club score. All you need is some simple logging software. There's a lot of good stuff out there that will support field day. N1MM does it. N3FJP does it. N3FJP is probably one of the easiest to use. It's not free, but it's a real easy one to use. I think Log4OM may also support it, but there's a lot of different loggers out there that will support field day logging, and they'll support CW, sideband, digital, mixed modes, all of that. But it'll allow you to keep that score, keep your log, and it'll also allow you to enter that club name in there, which I've included that in the club newsletter, and also we've posted that, I believe, on the Facebook page. But it's just Bristol and then in parentheses TN close parentheses ARC. This is KT40. So with that being said, I think this provides a really unique opportunity for a lot of us to maybe get a chance to test your station out, put it through the ringer. If maybe build an antenna that you want to try. Maybe you're thinking you want to build a bobtail curtain or something. Build that bobtail curtain and see how that thing does on 40 meters. It's going to give you a great idea and a great opportunity to get on the air, maybe learn something. Maybe you try a new mode. Maybe you try FT8, some of the new digital modes out there. Also, I think it provides a great opportunity where we're here in the sporadic E season of some 6-meter operation. I think instead of just having one station out at the park on 6 meters with the club, we could potentially have 50 signals maybe on the air with different people operating on 6 meters. I think that could provide a lot of fun in the local area for even VHF work. So let me let the repeater drop for a second. So with all of that, I think it's a great opportunity. As the old saying goes, we've been dealt some lemons. So the ARRL's kind of given us an opportunity to make lemonade out of it. So I think everybody has a great opportunity to play with your HF station. Maybe build that antenna over the next few weeks you want to work with it. Maybe get that software, talking with your radio and working with your station for station automation. If you've been working a little bit on CW, it gives you an opportunity to get on the air and practice your CW at your own station in kind of a contest environment, and work on that, build your confidence. So I think even in this adverse situation, it's not going to be as fun. Everybody maybe have a hamburger at 5 or 6 o'clock to be in the spirit of everything, and but that's kind of where we are. But this is the opportunity we have for the club to be able to have that aggregate score, and everybody turn in a log and submit it for the Bristol Amateur Radio Club. So that's what I've got. We can get these rules kind of sent out to everybody, and we'll forward those out. We'll post them to the Facebook page as well as out in maybe a special field day edition of a newsletter here in the next couple weeks. But Adam, that's all I have, and I'm here to field any questions. This is KT40.
Okay, Ben, thank you for that, and I'll just mention real quick too, I use the N3FJP logger. I purchased the whole complete package. I can't remember the exact price. It wasn't terribly expensive, but pretty much any contest I can download his latest version of his logger and use it. So if anybody has those, wants the, or decides to buy those, I'm going to do a YouTube video in the coming weeks on how to set it up to work with your rig, with the FLDigi and with the FT8, FT4 software, that kind of thing. So just throwing that out there. But does anybody have any questions for Ben concerning the field day rules or operations?
K4FJW.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
Ben, who can represent the club in this contest?
That's a great question, Tom. And, from everything I read in field day, there are no restrictions of people being a club member for field day participation. It's never been a requirement. Obviously we always have a lot of visitors come in and they'll sit down and operate and aren't necessarily members of the club. So it does not appear that they're actually restricting this like they would on typical ARRL contest. If that makes sense to you.
Makes sense, Ben, because a lot of people, make up a club name and send it in with their log.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, I think. And you see that a lot during field days. So, yeah. So, as whether folks are club members or not, you can work this. You can submit your entry for the Bristol Radio Club, and it will go in and count in our aggregate score. So, yeah, it's not like ARRL DX, and field day's never been quite as restrictive on that, because I think the goal of that, last year they had 36,000 people that participated, and I don't think that they're going to do anything to discourage that.
Okay, was there any other questions for Ben?
Adam, I'll add one last thing. If folks do have the ability, Adam, I know you're very adept with it and you're really good. I think something that would be good for the public is to go Facebook Live, whether it's on the club page. I know, Adam, you're capable of doing that, and show off some of the capabilities, and maybe we can even reach out to the media and kind of show what we're doing, even with social distancing going on, that we're still having this. So that's one thing that we'll talk about, and but I think a lot of us could even do that through your own Facebook page or social media if you're adept at that. Show yourself operating. I think that's a great way to show off the hobby on a real special weekend. And I did fail to mention, for folks that do want to know, field day is actually scheduled. It's the fourth weekend in June, which actually puts it June 27th and 28th this year. So it'll be at the end of the month. It'll be the very last weekend of June. So, Adam, that's all I have. And like I say, I put my contact information in the newsletter there. And if anybody does have any questions, feel free to give me a call. N4NT KT40.
Okay, Ben. Thank you. Good deal. And the thing about the Facebook page is anybody can go live on the Facebook page. You can get on there and start a live video through the Facebook page. I will probably do quite a few using YouTube, and what I'll do is just like tonight, when I start a live feed, I'll put a link on the Facebook page for those that are monitoring it, and then I can send a link to the channel over email. But the reason I do that is I know not everybody has Facebook, and pretty much anybody can get on YouTube. Even if you don't create an account of some kind, you can get on there and watch videos and that kind of thing. So I'll do quite a bit of that over the field day weekend. And I'll echo what Ben said too. If there's anything I can do to help anybody as far as their setup goes or any questions, I'm not as good with the N1MM logger as Ben would be. But if you have the N3 FJP or you want to download the FT8 software and try that out for the first time, I've been through those programs back and forth and even operated them for field day. So I'll be glad to help out with those. Is there any other questions concerning that or any other new business? Okay, I'm gonna back up and punt here for just a second. Dave sent me the minutes of the last meeting, so I usually do that in the first portion. But since I have them, I'm gonna go ahead and get that knocked out for this meeting, so we don't have to double up on it next time. Just bear with me and keep in mind that I just got these a few minutes ago, so I didn't really have a chance to read over them. So anyway, I'll go ahead and the meeting on May the 7th, 2020 was called to order using the net style roll call by N4NT at 7 p.m. Emmett had opening prayer. Gary N4KZS led us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I presented the minutes from the April business meeting. It was brought to a motion by W4JH and Ken K4HQ. Seconded the motion, was accepted as read. Gary N4KZS presented the Treasurer's Report and motion by WE4AWJ and second by K4HQ to accept that as read. And old business, Gary brought up that the CD is coming to maturity at Eastman and wanted to know if we wanted to change anything on it. If not, then it will be left to draw interest, which equals before it equaled the same as 12 paying members of the club. Of course, that was before we knew what we found out tonight. Gary suggested to bring to a vote to leave the CD as is and let it continue to collect interest. The motion was made by Powell KN4JWH and a second by Bob W4BCU, and all in attendance voted in favor. Under new business, Bob W4BCU announced that he will be having a ham fest at his house. I believe he calls it the driveway fest. I call it Bob Fest. He promised that this one would be much bigger and that some in the past, because he's acquired ham gear from 4 ham radio operators. Let me reset. Due to the virus, he'll let us know an upcoming date for this ham fest. It was mentioned that ARRL at that time is leaving it up to local clubs to decide what to do for field day. If they suggested if doing field day is normal to stick with CDC guidelines and local guidelines, the club will decide in June after getting with Ben and others to get further details for what the club expects to do for field day operation. And then I had mentioned that I had not heard any news from the Bristol Regional Medical Center on the use of the conference rooms, giving an okay to use those again. Of course, that's still kind of status quo. The club will have the June meeting on the repeater, and if this changes, it would be announced by email and over the air on Tuesday night's net. The meeting adjourned at 7:40 with a motion received from Ken, K4HQ. Is there any questions, additions, or corrections to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion and a second to approve as presented?
I make the motion, WE4AWJ.
K4HQ second.
Okay, motion WE4AWJ and second K4HQ. All right, so that brings us down to the end once again. Is there any further new business or anyone that wants to get on the roster for the night? Okay, just a reminder, field day will be the last weekend in June, full weekend in June, and we typically do not have a meeting in July because of field day activities. That's actually in our bylaws that we don't do that, so we'll take a break in July, and we'll be meeting again in August. Again, I don't know the fate of that meeting, if it will be what we're doing right now, if we'll get to use the hospital, or if we come up with something, some kind of alternative between now and then. But like I said, please be thinking about that and see what you can come up with, and that sort of thing. We'll try to communicate as we can about those ideas and so forth. But also, I won't be putting out a standard newsletter for July. We'll probably send something out a little ahead of field day, like Ben said, just an email or a newsletter dedicated strictly to field day. But other than that, does anyone else have anything they'd like to bring up tonight? Okay, if all minds are clear, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Nobody else will, so I will. K4HQ.
Okay, thank you, Ken. I didn't want to have to sit here all night. All right, this meeting is hereby adjourned, and again, you can play the meeting back on YouTube if you'd like to do so. 7-3, everybody. This is N4NT. Good night.